All right, y'all. Let's do another one real quick. This is coming from Oshay Duke Jackson. He did a reaction to Tonya TKO TV, and she's going to be telling the lovely ladies that they should explore their options in the dating market, in the sexual marketplace. And I think she's right. They should explore their options, but at the same time, you got to be sensible about it, right? Now, I don't know at this point if she's talking about divesting or just exploring your options. Those are two different things, right? Exploring your options means you're not saying no to anybody. You're just exploring, saying yes to other than what you're used to, right? That's exploring your options. Divesting is saying, I refuse to date black men, right? So those are two different things, right? So at this point, I don't know if she's talking divesting yet, but let's take a listen.
That black women just need to explore their options outside of black men. I want to play that clip and then I'm going to come back.
Because you know what they're saying? What they're saying is the part of the reason that black women don't date out is because men from other communities don't want us because of X, Y, Z and this, that, and the other. Meanwhile, you know that it's loyalty. I know that it's loyalty.
Okay, so right here, I think that other men want to date black women. They just don't want to marry black women. That's, I think, where the issue is coming up with. I think if you're out to just date, I think men of other races definitely want to date black women on a broader scale. But I think when it comes to marrying black women, I think that number shrinks down to a fraction of the number of men that's actually willing to date black women that are not black. Okay? So, yeah, everybody wants to date black women or have sex with them, rather, I should say. That's the reality. That's the real issue. And then, but they'll use the word date, instead of, sexually perform with a black woman, right? Anyway, so let's just be honest, right? Let's just be honest. It's not about, I don't think that. And so why don't these men want to marry black women? A lot of them don't want to even marry their own women, but typically there's an inherent issue that black women have when dating other men, and that is they can't deliver to that man a child which looks like that man, which is going to reflect that man on a mass scale. Once you introduce the black blood, obviously black is dominant. The black gene is dominant. It's going to dominate wherever you introduce it to, right? So, in particular, white men know this. That's why they are very careful to try to not impregnate not only their own women, but especially black women. They don't want to, many of them don't want a child that has black blood in it, right? This is normal. This is natural. That's not he's a racist. No, that's not a racist. That's just, you want a child. We as men want children that represent us, right? We want it just like you say in Genesis, right? Let us make man. Me and you, baby. Let us make a man after our image and after our likeness. But really, the man is saying after my image and after my likeness, and some of your image and some of your likeness, right? but in the white community, it's not that liberalism is not that heavy there, right? So and so this is why white women retain their value even when they get busted, and even when they get busted and they get up in age and they get busted, they still retain their value because they can always deliver the white child. She's the only woman on the planet that can deliver a white child to the white man, right? Therefore, even if she's busted, She has some value, right? Even if the attractiveness is not there, even if the arousal is not there, she has some value to the white community. So that is going to be difficult for the black women to get around as far as matrimony. Now, like I said, men of all races want to date and sexually perform with black women. That's no problem, man. You will always get people, men. There's black men that want to sexually perform with black women but don't want to marry them, right? It's the same in it's other races. Those numbers are just much smaller in other races, right? Okay, let's continue.
But they're not being loyal to you. They're just going out with whoever they think is pretty and nice. They're favoring people who have the of the oppressor.
Who is the they? Who is this they? Oh, you mean the more sexually attractive men are doing that? Oh, I get it. Because there's a lot of men that are staying home that just not they're not on the radar of black women, of the average black woman. Just you don't get on the average black woman's radar until you have something of note, something noteworthy about yourself. You got money, you got status, you got some noteworthy situation in most cases. Man, you said all black women do this, and I just came here to tell you that all black women do that. I know. That's why I said most. That's why I said some, right? Typically, you don't get on the average black woman's radar, especially the younger she is, the farther away from the radar you are if you just a regular dude going to work and coming home, right? You don't have something noteworthy about yourself. The average black woman is going to say, well, why am I messing with you? I can do much better. And when she says she can do much better, she's telling herself she can do much better by connecting herself to a man with greater resources than the last man. I'm okay with that. You guys should be okay with that. I'm okay with that. The question I have for you, is this man going to love you like I do? Love is discounted in this world. Love is discounted, right? I don't need love, girl. He got money. That's typically way, especially the younger they are. I would say black women in their 20s, they look at it like that. What do we need with love? We don't need love. We need money, right? We got money. We can buy whatever else we need. Can you? Can you? What's more? A person with millions of dollars? What's worth more? A person with millions of dollars in the bank? Or a person that's going to love you? That's going to love you with all, you, nasty you. With all your idiosyncrasies and all your mess, all your, back, your baggage. This man gonna love you in spite of all that. What's worth more? That's why I'm really not on the whole interracial relationship thing, because if you find somebody of another race that's willing to love you and treat you good and feed you good, because somebody ain't gonna treat you good, ain't gonna feed you good. And somebody ain't gonna treat you good or feed you good. Hell, if they're gonna treat you good, they're gonna treat your children good. They're gonna mentally destroy your children. You really want to have children with a woman like that? So far, I don't see anything wrong with what this lady is saying as far as going out and exploring your options as a black woman. Just remember, you're going to get a lot of yeses, especially the younger you are. You're going to be able to pull a lot of more dudes of other races, but you got to understand what is probably their primary motivation for being with you. It definitely ain't to marry you or make a socially acceptable woman out of you. right? To put you in matrimony and show the world that that you are worthy of somebody signing the rest of their life off to, right? Most of them guys want to just. So I'm just saying, if a lot of guys in the black community are doing it, you can only imagine, and we know how black women are. Imagine these people that don't even know how you are. Why would they be interested in you? In most cases. All right, let us continue.
And they think that that's prettier than you. They're not waiting for you. What they're doing is they're going out there, they're listening to all different types.
Right, listen now, there's no qualifiers, right? She's not qualifying any of this stuff, right? She's just saying they. That's one big group, right? And I'm assured that they is black men, right? She's not saying some black men or the black men we are interested in sexually, or the black men we're interested in based on their resources. She's saying they. But that's what they're really saying, because there's men that's out here trying to date black women that the black women don't want to, they don't want to even see them coming. I'm talking about black dudes, good black dudes. But most of the time in the black community, it don't pay to be a good dude to black women. Oh, Clarence, how could you say that? Oh, my God. It does it for black men. Now, a white man could try to be good too, and eventually it's not going to pay for him either, but I think he'll get more love in the beginning than a black man that's a nice guy in the black community. Oh, prepare to get stomped out. You're going to get stomped out, especially by black women that feel like they have some type of attractiveness or a high beauty appearance. Oh, they are going to stomp you out. Typically. Look, Clarence, see, I know a friend. I got a friend that she is very beautiful, and she married the trash man. Okay. That's the one in a million. Typically, the average black woman, unless you're bringing some type of notoriety to the table, something noteworthy to the table, you're probably going to be off her radar. Now, I will tell you when you will get on a black woman's radar, being a nice guy, is when she done hit some bumps in the road along the way, right? When she gets to hit some bumps in the road, and she understands that the type of man she's looking for to come, he ain't coming, right? And now you got to be more realistic and say, okay, I got to deal with the people that's actually in my circle. Now, how do I, let me get the best of the rest, right? So now she goes running after the best of the rest, right? Or not running after them, but she's more willing to go out with somebody like that, right? As opposed to, when she was 22 or 23, she was just like, stop. Ugh. Right? Now she got a couple little Larrys running around. Trying to pay that car note. She gives, put herself in debt just to look like she doing something. She got this expensive car note, this expensive mortgage or expensive rent. Plus, she trying to live this lifestyle. Plus, she got these kids. Oh boy. So the tables turn at a certain point. I'm not gonna say they do turn at a certain point, right? Now there are men out there that go after white women. So what? There's women out there that go after white men. So what? I'm just saying for the women, there's like she's going to say, the clock is ticking on the women. So, you really don't have a lot of, like, men have much more time to experiment, whereas women, you don't really have a lot of time to experiment. You got a small little window of experimentation. And then the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. You got to make a decision, right? Hey, I'm gonna select from this pool or something, right? All right, let's continue with the Tonya TKO.
Of pop music and all different types of the genre and dressing and style.
Summer is ending, but the savings are endless at Bob's Discount Furniture. And this Labor Day weekend, I'm throwing a summer set
that they feel are going to attract while you're over there listening to your R&B, your rhythm and blues music, and your, oh, I love you, oh, anything you want from me, oh, I do for you. While you're listening to that, they're out there with their damn plastic neon shade.
Who's the they? Oh, us black men, right? The whole group of us, right? Okay.
On, and they're at their concerts where the girls are dressing up in their top hats and their fishnets, and they're stomping in mud and hula hooping in the corner, and they're like all around looking for a cutie by the porta potty at these events while you're sitting up there with your damn violin playing.
Now, like I said, what she's not saying is when you did try to talk to black women, they wouldn't give you the time of day. So black women's rejection of good dudes push them off the reservation, right? You push them off the reservation. Then you push the dudes off the reservation and they say, okay, I can't date black women because black women are not interested in me. At least the ones I find attractive are not interested in me. So therefore, what can I do? I have to go off the reservation, right? If I want companionship, I have to go off the reservation. Now, these are the same dudes that you denied access to, right? You denied access to these dudes, and these dudes adjusted their dating behavior based on the rejection, the high rejection that they received in the black community. See, but they generally leave that part out. They generally leave that part out. Hey, you're supposed to get rejected into oblivion, black man. And then at some point, when there's a black woman that's busted and toe up, you're supposed to run in and do it. You're supposed to follow the Boyce Watkins manual, dating manual, right? Girl you wanted back in the day when she was tough and body was tight and she was, on fire. She rejects you. You wait 20 years and then she brings along some other man's kids and high mileage on the vagina. I don't know, man. I think I would want that person to desire me more. I don't think, and see, Boyce Watkins, for some reason, he decided, hey, I'm gonna stay. No matter what this woman do to me, I'm staying. I'm staying on the reservation. Okay, some brothers do that. But I wouldn't tell no brother to do that. I would say, hey, just date your preference. If you prefer black women, even though they running you off the reservation, stay with them. If you don't. Go date who makes you happy. Excuse me. Go court who makes you happy. Go court who makes you happy. When I say court, I mean you trying to investigate the situation to see if matrimony is at the end of the road. Okay. That's what I mean by courting. You're starting the dating process, the quote-unquote dating process. But you got to learn how to court, right? But especially black women, they don't court anymore. They don't court. Back in the day, we courting somebody. You bring them around your family. Let your family check that person out. A lot of these dudes, man, they don't want to be around your family because they just want to hit it. They want to see your family. They don't want to be around any other people that you already going to present an accountability problem for them. Now you're going to add more people that's going to present even bigger accountability problems for them. They don't want that. They don't want that. Especially if they're from another race, they really don't want that. Typically. Now, there's some white dudes that's like, I don't care that this girl's black. I don't care that she's a Latino. I don't care. Same thing with some Latino, but that number is small. That's a small number of those from that population. The bigger group says, I'll sexually date black women. Yeah, I'll sexually date them, but I'm not looking to and be involved in matrimony with them. So there's no need for the courting process to occur, right? Let's just meet up, have sex until you don't want to do it no more, and then I move on and get somebody else, right? Why? Because they don't have no connection to you. Black men, we have a connection to you, right? Our mothers are black. Typically, right? Typically. Somebody's black, either the mother or the father, but somebody's typically black. At least one of the parents is black, right? But if you got a black mother, you can see that a lot of the stuff that she got to go through, and she can tell her stories, right? So we got a connection there. More likely to be interested in marrying a black woman, whereas other races of men are typically avoiding marriage. Many of them are avoiding marriage in general to their own people, let alone a black woman. But it is what it is. Let's continue.
Your sad love songs, they're out there attracting people from different backgrounds and considering that a step up. While you are over there at home crying and praying, they're out there dating the rainbow. They're diving into many different type of visions.
See, now this is why I like the disingenuousness, where they don't mention that they have rejected black men into oblivion, right? And then they say, black man, you're supposed to get rejected into oblivion and still want to date a black woman. Some of us do, but you can't demand that. That's not, you can't demand that. I think that's very self-absorbed to demand that black men just get, especially the better ones of us, with the better intentions for you, black woman, that you deny us access and you reject us into oblivion. Then when we say, when we make an adjustment to our dating behavior based on all this rejection and denial of access, then you put it in our face like we wanted to do it this way, but most of us didn't want to do it this way. You forced us to do it, not forced, excuse me, wrong word. You presented the better option as being going someplace else to accomplish my goal of companionship, sexual, having sexual relations, and and then trying to move on from there. Your massive and unfettered rejection of good dudes sent them, a lot of them, over the fence. But that part is never said. That part is never said. Can you imagine what black women just experienced a little rejection and they running off the reservation, right? Can you imagine if they experienced all the rejection that black men experience? But you're supposed to be rejected. You're supposed to be a man. No, your daddy is supposed to do that. Your father. So you think everybody's going to be like your father, and your father put up with all your bullshit. Your father put up with all your bullshit because he loved you no matter what. And you think all men going to love you like that. Your brothers loved you no matter what. Your father reinforced that and told them they better love you no matter what. They love you no matter what. Then They expect you to find a man that's going to love you no matter what, no matter how foolish you act. This is, and see, this is why a lot of black men are walking off the reservation. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I say the same thing for black men. Black men talk about black women, right? And it's hurt from the rejection. It's every black man you see, add about 50 rejections on top of that man's head. How many times you got to get rejected by somebody where you say, you know what, F you. Why am I going to get rejected by you when there's other women out here that's going to treat me right? So a lot of the rejection they get, it turns their stomach towards black women. Right? They go crazy. Oh, I ain't dating no black women. I ain't dating no black women. Why? Because they just get crazy, right? They just say, I'm not going to date them. Why would I try to date somebody that keeps telling me that I ain't good enough to date them because I ain't got $1 million in the bank, I ain't on TV, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that, I'm just working a regular city job or whatever. She need a man that's making 6 figures. Okay, I ain't making it today, but maybe I can make it later. But she want it today. Why do I need to deal with somebody like that? So black men lose their mind, right? They take it too far, some of them. I can understand you being upset and you saying, well, I guess I got to go off the reservation, right? But some of our brothers, man, they just go nuts. They lose their mind. They start talking about black women like they're crazy. And so black women take a defensive posture on that situation. And now they look, it's just a bad situation altogether. But it stems, I'm saying, in black men, the going off the reservation stems, I would say, 85% of black men who leave started out trying to date black women. And the immense rejection or the immense being because of their personality, because they're not having the swag effect, the black women quickly getting bored and tired of the man because he pays his bills on time, he don't got no drama, he just want to love you. But that's a fleeting thing, right? Who wants love? I want a G-Wagon, right? I want a G-Wagon. I want money in the bank. I walk around with these black eyes, as long as I got a G-Wagon, as long as my kids in private school, right? So it's getting crazy out here, y'all. It's getting crazy. There's trouble on the black men's side. There's trouble on black women's side. But if we're going to have a conversation, let's have the full conversation. Don't say black men are out here dating women of other races just because they want to date men of other races. No, I said that's a small number of the black men that's actually dating women of other races. The major portion of black men that are dating women of other races have tried to date black women, and something has gone faulty with them trying to do it, and they have been repeatedly rejected, repeatedly dogged out. They don't have swag. If something is missing in their presentation that black women consider faulty, therefore they just do them. They just ragdoll them and then spit them back out, right? And so those black men say, okay, why am I trying to date someone that's just going to dog me out? Or they gonna just chew me up and spit me out, or they just gonna reject me straight out and just say, no, you just don't have the swag I'm looking for. I need somebody with swag. Well, so a lot of our women, a lot of our sisters are getting with the brothers with the swag, with the sexual prowess, right? Swag, the mouthpiece, all that, man. How is that working for you? So we got to have these honest conversations. Now, I'm going to do another one for men because men are just as crazy. They doing just as much craziness, even more craziness when we start talking about violence. I think they're just a little more violent than women. Oh, Clarence, black men are so much more violent than men. No, they're not more. They're not a lot more violent. They're a little more. A lot of violence, domestic violence that women perpetrate on men goes unreported. I would probably say close to 90% of it goes unreported. Especially if and I would say that would jump up if the man has a child with this woman. You don't want to put this baby's mother in jail. Right? What's going to happen to the kid if the mother goes to jail? But and the state is more likely to pick up the charges if the black woman say, you know what, I don't want to press no charges. I just want him out the house. The state will say, oh, we're going to get him out the house, all right. We're going to go ahead and push this thing. But I said I don't want to press no charges. But, well, we're going to press them. Right? State's more likely to pick that up. As opposed to a woman, you go in and you try to at least get them to press to arrest or make a note of the fact that the woman was violent, right? If you can make that happen, then if you go in and say, hey, I don't want to press no charges, you ain't got to. We didn't even file this yet. You ain't got to. The state is way less likely to file charges of domestic violence against a woman as opposed to a man. Way less likely. But, hey, these are just some of the things I want to talk about in this episode. I know that women are saying to themselves, oh, Clarence, how could you say this? How could you ain't even... You just talking about us women. No, I'm really talking about both of us as women and men. But I just want to have the full conversation. Don't leave out the fact that black men are being rejected at enormous rates. If you look at any black man, put 50 rejections on top of his head. At least 50 rejections by black women on top of his head. At least. Man finally said, hey, look, man, I'm not even. And out of them 50, you might want to say 40 of them have been like, I don't want no scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me, right? How many times do you have to go through that before you say, you know what? These women don't want me. Why am I pushing the issue? Right? If black men, see, now this lady right here is crying about the black men that she finds attractive. But they don't find good dudes attractive. But they still lump good dudes in here. Oh, they want to be with white women. They want to be with white women. No. And so this narrative has to play out because they don't take accountability on the massive amount of rejection they put in on good dudes. Their standards and sexually selecting creates this high number of rejections for especially the better black dudes. I can see them rejecting dudes that they know ain't up to no good, but a lot of them are rejecting good black men because they boring. They don't have no swag. They ain't got pockets full of cash right now. They working. They're good dudes, but they just ain't hit it yet. And then so then. After you get to a certain point, just say, forget it. I'm not going to date black women. And you focus on your career, right? Focus on how you going to sustain yourself. And then when that start rolling, you say, hey, look, I'm not going back to getting that high rejection. Let me go to another place where at least if I'm getting rejected, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying something different. I don't feel as bad. I feel bad getting rejected by my own people. I feel bad. But I don't feel bad getting rejected by somebody else. I don't know them and they don't know me. So it don't hurt as bad. But nobody wants to talk about this stuff, right? We want to act like, hey, black men are just running around. As soon as we get out the womb, we like, hey.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Right? We like, where the white women at? As soon as we come out the womb, where the white women at? We got the little sucker thing in our mouth, right? Where the white women at? But that's not the case. Most black men, yeah, some black dudes just want to date white women, but that's not the majority of black dudes. The majority of black dudes that date interracially because of the huge amount of rejection they receive from trying to date black women. Or every time they turn around, they date a black woman that they feel is attractive, and they end up in some kind of crazy situation, and they go, wait, how did I get here? What's going on? Because they're not really respected by black women because they don't have the swag. They don't have the swag effect. We'll talk about this more later. All right, y'all. Tell me what y'all think. What do y'all think? Am I just, is it all in my head, y'all? Is it all in my head? We're going to come back and talk about men too. All right, y'all. Peace.